Good evening, sisters and brothers. This is another report from Sister Deanne out of the Valley of the Sun. We had sunshine today, so it's a really good thing that majority of the year is sunshine. So with that said, I'm glad that you're tuning in right now for another report. So I've been considering a couple of topics for this evening, and most importantly, I wanted to share hair, skin, and nails. So hair, skin, and nails. So hair, skin, and nails. So I wanted to make sure that you subscribe and follow on Instagram and YouTube, so you can find out when I'm going live. All right. So thank you again for tuning in. So let me take the last one first, and that is to talk about nails. So this is for sisters and brothers, because brothers also get, manicures and pedicures. So I want to be inclusive and not just specifically talk to the sisters tonight. With that said, the salons that we tend to patronize, this would be mostly Asian, immigrants, etc. And I wanted to find out or ask the question, why? So why are sisters mostly, and some brothers, choosing these types of services? The melanated people are choosing these services. So I guess at least we are thinking about immigrants, people who come to our country. They can get a loan, they can get business loan, etc. I'm not going to say primarily in melanated communities, but we definitely have them abundantly in our community. So I wanted to say we can look at how they can do that when we, can't get a loan to open up a business, So that's another conversation for another time. But I want to say, even though 90%, let's just say our sisters and brothers, or 50% of the brothers, I don't know the numbers specifically, I didn't do that type of research, but we really look to have these services come into, or we go into these establishments for these services. The combination, I'm talking about gels. I'm not talking about a manicure, pedicure, which I do maybe once a month, not often, but perhaps once a month, every 6 weeks or something. A little bit more in the summer because my toes are out and that kind of thing. So I get it. I totally get it. Yet and still, I want you all to look at how we're throwing our money into other communities. They're not holding us hostage. We're willingly taking our money and going into these spas and so forth, and we're asking for these services. So just, consider that. The combination of ingredients, especially on the acrylic gels, I think there are so many, there are monomers, and monomers, something I think that's how I pronounce it. Okay, monomers and oligomonomers. These are cancer-causing agents that you are going to a place, a spa, a nail salon, to get these fake nails. Fake nails. And if you think about it, 95% of the employees at ABC establishment, throughout the country, they don't even have, the gels on their hands. That should tell you something. So I would say probably 5% will have them. I haven't even seen that many, but that much. But, we should pause on that because they are applying the nail to our nail bed and it's fake and it's cancer causing. So I don't know what that is about. Okay. So we can look at that a little bit more closely in that we're taking our hard-earned money, or, I don't want to say hard-earned, but our money, and going into another community, perhaps, maybe in our own community, but we're spending money, haphazardly for a harmful application of a harmful agent. So I'm really, amazed at that. So why can't we consider bartering? So sisters come together, have a spa day, in each other's homes or whatever the case may be, and we do spa treatments on ourselves, and or either give the sister the money or the brother, whatever the case may be, but to keep the money circulating in our own community and just say, $35, $50, whatever the cost. But why spend money outside of our community for a service that is harmful to melanin? I'm not understanding that. I'm really not understanding that. But this is happening 365 days throughout the country. And I'm amazed at that because the money is not circulating into the communal the community, excuse me. So I'm not understanding why we're choosing. No one's holding us at gunpoint, if you will. We are literally going into communities, and they usually speak their language. We hear them communicating. You don't even know if they're talking about you, but that's a whole nother conversation. But again, generally, they do not have the respect of our people to, speak English. I know sometimes if I, question something or whatever, they go immediately into their language. So that's a buffer for me because I definitely don't know, the language that they're speaking. So that's a block there. And you don't even know if they're cursing you out, so I'm not understanding that. So someone, send me a message of why or how or why that is apparent in our community, because I know that we're not respected in overall. I'm not going to say each and every time we're not respected, but our money is taken for granted. When we spend money with other communities, we I don't think we have the level of respect that we should. And I take pause to that because I know it is it's very important for us to be mindful of how we are treated and how we are not treated. So if we're treated with utmost respect, you might be more proponent of going into that facility. But I'm not going to say chances are, but chances are, your money is taken, you have nails, they may crack or break or whatever, and it's substandard ingredients most of the time. And they're cancer causing agents. And like I said, I mentioned the two. So I'm really totally not understanding the nail thing. I get it. The pedicure, especially in the summer months, I'm usually there once a month or every 3 weeks. But clearly we can circulate money, just have a spa weekend, and we can perhaps go to each other's homes, keep that money or give the sister the money, But anyway, I've taken that point and drove that one home. So I just wanted for you to entertain that idea of recirculating our money in our community. So with that said, I believe I really want to talk about skin again. We touched on it a little bit these last few nights, but the skin is the largest organ. And so I want to, keep that in mind and know that it cannot be emphasized enough because of its importance. No, I didn't turn off my phone. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to touch on again what I touched on a couple of nights ago: skin bleaching. Skin bleaching. Skin bleaching. It's done in the motherland. I know that. I recognize that, but there's no excuse. We know about the horrors of dark skin, light skin, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it. The white doll is still selected. We talked about that the other night. And I just wanted to find out why that is. The skin bleaching, it's so apparent. It's so apparent. And I wanted to go to, let's see. I was amazed at this. I went to this website and I want to share a couple of passages from the website. And this is a website that I found most intriguing. When I went to, let's see, sorry about not having this loaded. I just went to it a few moments ago. Skin bleaching. Okay, here we go. Okay, one moment, please. Let's see. There's several articles on this site, and I just wanted to find the language. There are several companies that carry skin bleaching skin bleaching creams, applications, etc. And there are a lot of videos. These videos are as late as 2020, January 2020, 2019, 2018. So this is a consistent theme with this site. And I'm again at a loss for words, because I know that it is more prevalent in this country. It seems like this is the only country I've lived in, so I don't know about others, but it's just shocking. It's just shocking. So I don't want to necessarily mention the website, because I guess you can do some research and find out. I want to make sure I'm dotting my I's, crossing my T's, and mentioning the disclosure of saying, hey, I'm about to, I have the verbiage upstairs, but right now I did not grab that. So I don't want to necessarily mention the name of the website. But it was really interesting to see how the language is used with describing the skin bleaching. And I'm just going to read a quick paragraph. Once I do apologize, because this is not like me to be a little bit disorganized. So I just want to take a moment to read something to you, which I found most fascinating. Okay, I think it's loading. Okay. The topic is skin bleaching. And I went to this website to see the language that would be used in describing skin bleaching. Okay, I think I may have found it. Okay. Okay. Skin bleaching refers to the use of products to lighten dark areas of the skin or achieve an overall lighter complexion. This is 2020. I'm in real time, you know. So here we go. These products include bleaching creams, soaps, pills, as well as professional treatments like chemical peels, laser therapy. So people are still doing this, which I find truly amazing, because as we are, some of us are trying to lighten our skin, white women, Caucasians are, they will talk about being pale. They'll talk about going to, tanning spas and all like that, because they feel a sense of inadequacy. That's all I can, think about that, of them just saying, okay, I know I look pale. Sometimes they will mention in the office and, in like, I need to go to the tanning booth or whatever. But they will, feel a level of inadequacy, even though it's not apparent, but in the corners of their mind, they feel inadequate, especially as the world is becoming browner and browner. The world is becoming browner and browner. But while we are bleaching our skin, not all of us, not me or anyone in my immediate circle, but the country overall, like I said, I will not mention names, but if you go back 20 years, especially folks that are in the music field or in entertainment, etc., we go to before pictures, like maybe in the 80s, 90s, to now, it's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So we're at a critical time right now, because as the world is becoming browner and browner, we have a level of inadequacy in our mind. Even though we have the dominant gene. I can't emphasize that enough, but one drop theory, we have the dominant gene. Melanin is a dominant gene. You can't go any way around it. This is our reality. Okay. So now I'm trying to go. Okay. When you apply a skin bleaching product to the skin, such as hydroquinone, it decreases the number of melanocytes in your skin that can lighten skin and a more even appearance to the skin. Okay. The FDA has banned the use of something unless it's professionally applied, etc. Mercury poisoning. This is in certain creams. Mercury? Seriously, we are putting mercury laced, and it's a poison, on our skin to lighten it. That's our level of inadequacy. How can that be? We are the original. We don't have a life record. We do not have any record, because we've always been here. We have always been on this planet. And so this is insane to me. Mercury has been banned as an ingredient in skin lightening products in the United States, but products made in other countries still contain mercury. Wow. So signs of mercury poisoning: numbness, high blood pressure. We don't need any more of that. Fatigue, sensitivity to light, neurological factors such as tremor, memory loss, and irritability, kidney failure. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have to, look at this and reconsider our choices, because it's harming us, and our babies are watching us, and they're mimicking, perhaps 10, 20 years later. If they're teenagers, well, mom did it, why shouldn't I? And we don't even connect the dots with our health and wellness when it comes around for us to have some type of detrimental, because these ingredients have long-term effects. It's not one and done. I have one symptom. It can be over a period of time. So we really need to recognize that skin bleaching is not for us. So there was a comment in the article online, fair and flawless skin, fair and flawless skin. That was a quote. And this came from videos in 2017 and 2018, 2019, and 2020. So recognize your power is in melanin. The majority of the planet is melanated. So we are the first people. And so everyone is trying to mimic us, but we're trying to mimic them. It's just a psychology of like, oh my goodness. This is a science project, I believe, or some type of horrible, gotcha moment, because we're trying to mimic them and then they are inadvertently trying to mimic us. So it's just a weird world right now we're living in. So we are not seeing our gifts. Melanin is, I'm going to go into it a little bit later on this week, perhaps tomorrow or Thursday, because we know that the compound of melanin, it cannot be reproduced in a laboratory. If so, Caucasian women would have been buying it thousands and thousands of dollars to pay for melanin if it was readily available. But it cannot be created outside of the body. Okay. So we do not see our gifts. We can be seen as a lost people. Sometimes I feel that that's a strong phrase, but yet and still, it seems like it's appropriate for right now, because in the 70s, Black Power, Afro's big, and it was a beautiful time, Black Panther, everything. I grew up in Brooklyn. You can probably pick up on the accent, but it was just a time that we were proud. We had the fros. We were, fill in the blank. We were making our presence known. Black Panthers did a lot of powerful things in the community, especially in New York, and they dismantled all that, but that'll be another conversation on another day. But we were proud people, a very, very proud people. It's just surprising to me that we are afraid of the sun. The sun gives us life. The sun gives us joy. The sun gives us the ability to persist, pursue, etc. We recognize the beauty of the sun, because without the sun, we would all literally die. We have to have sun. But we tend to apply sunscreen, in the middle of the summer. We're going to the store. I need to get my sunscreen. What? This is why I say, we are some level of being lost, because we have melanin. So we have a natural protection from the sun. If you study melanin, it's durable. It's that's why women and brothers and sisters, we don't age like Caucasians. I'm just keeping it real. I mean, real talk. No one's talking about this. Everybody's talking about top 40 topics of, who did this, who did what, blah, blah, blah. A lot of noise, a lot of distraction. But I'm finding that we need to reassess of our place in the world. And it starts with truth, and it starts with facts. So if we don't have any of that, like I said, we're lost people. So we really need to focus our attention on what is important, not the top 40 conversations on necessarily on social media, etc. We need to focus on melanin, which makes us great, which makes us great. I just have a smile on my face when I say that. We're taking on another reality of another people. So that in and of itself is foolish, because we know better, we will do better. So this is my small attempt to remind us of our greatness, our gifts, and the joy having melanin. It's a joy. It literally is a joy. So stop taking on another reality. Just stop doing it. That's not our reality. You know, we follow behind. We're not the followers. We are the leaders. We created everything. You know, we were brought here hook and crook, and we made it. You know, we endured. Our ancestors endured, and so now, how can we go back and say lighter skin is better? We're like wanting our oppressor's skin tone. I'm not following that. You know, help me understand. I'm just, how is this possible? That's why some of us say we are lost people, because we don't know our place in the world, because we're global people. We've been kind of stuck here, if you will, but we are global people, and we have far-reaching benefits in our lives so that we can navigate relatively well in spite of all of the arrows, spiritual arrows, etc., at us, coming at us. You know, sometimes on a daily basis. You know, we have to look at that. So I am going to close on my, so we address nails, skin, and I'm going to continue to talk about skin, because I think that we are so ashamed. We are so ashamed, because we are being beat down as soon as we enter a room with power. Just because, like, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm like 5'11". So when I walk into a room, you know, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, she saw I was going to be tall, so she put a book on my head, because she didn't want her, I was the only granddaughter on both sides, so she didn't want me to slump, you know. So when I walk in a room, I have the confidence of a 5'11" melanated person, you know, unapologetically, you know, I'm melanated unapologetically. So not arrogant per se, but there's a sense of, when you have melanin, there's a sense of understanding your power and also your presence. So I just, when I go into a room, I'm giving respect most of the time, you know, even out here in the Valley of the Sun. But, you know, I naturally receive it, because I come in in confidence that was, you know, instilled in me at a young age. My maternal grandmother at the age of, I want to say 10 maybe, which seems like a lifetime ago. But she didn't live. My paternal grandmother also lived in Brooklyn, and so she had readily access to me. And because we had a family home, and we had one apartment, and then my grandparents were upstairs, and it was they purchased this home, and a two-family home. And so my grandmother had, I would communicate with my grandmother on a daily basis. We were in the same you know home. So my maternal grandmother, she lived in North Carolina, and she sent me a melanated doll. So that was my introduction to having a doll that looked like me. So those were small attempts, but very far reaching attempts from both my mother's mother and my father's mother. In many ways that kind of helped shape who I am as a woman today, because of they thought about the long-term effect of my grandmother getting that, melanated doll. And then my grandmother, my Nana, called her Nana, she put a book on my head and she had me walk, and not drop that book. Do we ever do that right now with our children? I don't know. Are we just on the cell phones? Is that the preoccupation? I was driving out here, and the children I looked over the car. It was like a minivan, and the children were, I think what are they called? The videos they had, the parents were on the phone, and then the children were preoccupied with the gadgets of some level of gadgets. So I think videos or something. My parents talked to me and my brother. I mean, we didn't have all of that, that wasn't even around. So parents had to engage at some level, I mean, color me crazy, but this is old school, but we had a different life then. And so the technology has taken us, quote unquote, to a better place or a higher place. But I beg to differ, because we're not communicating with our children. We're not communicating with our family members. And, enough with cell phones at 12? Are you kidding me? I mean, this is what we're doing. It's almost laughable, but this is what we're doing. 12-year-old having cell phones and iPhones, not even a cell phone, but an iPhone, So we have to look, some things are, organic in the society, so we have to get on board. But why do we? Why can't we set our own rules for our own people and our own livelihood? This is what I'm saying to you, because, I would think that, my parents, would say, even if it was back in that time, we had the cell phones and all that, my parents would probably would have had me to work for the phone. I would have to do some chores or get a part-time job or whatever, or I would not be able to get a phone until age 17 or 18 or something like that. Because in their mind, I believe, they would think we should know where Deanne is at all times. So therefore, if she's not being picked up, she's at piano lessons or this or that or the other. So there was a place that I would be at all times, you know, piano lessons, school, this or that. But children are like becoming adults with a child's mind. And you know, it's unfair to the child because we're accelerating their growth. Because my mother would always say, you will be an adult longer than you will be a child. So we're going to preserve the childhood, you know, like. So I did, you know, children were not so much not seen and all like that, but my parents had, you know, adults in the room. You were upstairs with the children, your peers. So we were, you know, playing in another room, and the adults were in. My kitty cat is trying to make an appearance. So okay, you're right there. She's a doll. But yeah, we really had a the children were in separate, you know, environments, you know, in the same home. Children had a room, play and all like that, and the adults, you know, had adult conversations. So I digress. All right. So let's go back to my final part I'd like to speak about is hair. Hair. Oh boy. Deanne, you're going to go there? I think so. I think I'm going to go there. So, you know, in its natural state, hair defies gravity. Can you see my hair? It's standing up. It's literally standing up out of my scalp because I have natural hair. This is natural hair. It defies gravity. So, wow. So I'm, you know, when you look at the spiral at the scalp, it's a curl pattern, natural curl pattern. It is looking like, especially a boy's cut, you know, if you cut it low, you can see a coil pattern. When you cut it short, I mean really, really short, you will see a coil pattern. And that's the look. It appears like what? The galaxy, the planets, the scalp, the hair is standing up. We don't have to say stand up hair, stand up hair, stand up hair. The hair naturally, in its natural state, it stands up. So it defies gravity. Who can say that? Who can say that? The hair defies gravity. Who cannot say that? Sisters who, not all of our sisters, not all of my sisters, perm or, you know, or perm, you know, that's a novel idea. I'm showing my age. Perm, and now we have mostly fake hair. So what is that about? We are choosing, again, we make choices every day. So we're choosing to cover the hair that naturally stands up without mousse, without gel. It naturally stands up. It's against gravity. It goes against gravity. So we would rather have flat hair. I'm not understanding why we would prefer that when we have hair that defies gravity. You know? So we went from froze in the 60s and 70s to perms in the 80s and 90s to someone else's hair that's glued down, you know, synthetic hair, doll baby hair, synthetic unnatural hair, 2000s and beyond. And now we're in 2020. We are seeing clearly a lot of salons are closed. You know, if they are open at all, you know, it's a hardship for some to maintain that, you know, so we can go back to the hair that defies gravity. My goodness, my goodness. How is that possible? The hair that defies gravity. And I've been seeing, you know, a few commercials. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but I try to engage at some level because I'm looking at a few more opportunities of featuring Caucasian women with biracial looking black men kind of thing, car commercials, etc., especially around this time of the year, the holiday season. So that's really interesting. So I'll make a little bit more note on that in the weeks to come. But the whole push on the integration, I'm trying to be careful with this, looking, usually it's, no. There's a commercial for diamonds, I'll just say that. And you have a melanated, beautiful sister, and the Caucasian man, you know, he kind of is holding her or in an embrace. So it's just kind of interesting right now. We're paying attention. See, they want us to pay attention to COVID. It should be a song. COVID. Because they're gearing up for the vaccine. And this is definitely going to be a conversation. Probably at the end of the week or next week. The COVID. Nothing else is going on in the news except for COVID. I mean, things, you know, at least PBS News, I try to watch that. It goes into more of a global perspective of everything else that's going on. But this country is so laser focused because they have an agenda that needs to be, everyone needs to come up on board with the agenda. I'm not understanding that because it appears that 2 to 5% of the global population has had or will have COVID. 2 to 5% of the global population will have or have had COVID. So we're going to make a sweeping decision on those numbers for vaccines. So we're going to definitely talk about that. So yeah, I just wanted you to recognize, you know, our gifts are far-reaching. You know, our hair defines gravity. We don't have to talk it up. We don't have to put mousse on it. You know, it's a natural gift. We have to look at our bodies and our mind and our spirit as a gift. This is a gift from the Most High. Whatever you believe, this is a gift from him or her. And we need to recognize that and not taking on someone else's reality. We take on someone else's reality as if it's our own. And so, you know, whether it's skin, we talked about nails, we talked about hair, we must look at the agenda, far-reaching agenda on this planet. Not only COVID, but the mindset of our people and where we can go at some point in our mind. So we can really decide, make a decision to go to the salons, go to the nail places, blah, blah, blah. Or we can circulate our money within our community, our sisters, etc. And we don't have to go out to the salons. We can keep our money, build our communities. Might sound like a small amount, but it's far reaching. It is far reaching. So I really wanted to make sure I discuss those 3 topics: hair, skin, and nails. And I enjoy feedback. I enjoy, and like I said, subscribe and follow on Instagram and YouTube. So I really appreciate you listening. Send me an email, whatever way you can reach me. I gave out my phone number last night, 602-775-9665. So I'm totally transparent. And I really, really feel that we have to make a decision of how we go into 2021. So we're going to continue to do what we've been doing because we're going to keep getting what we keep getting. So if we make a shift, even so slightly, 1 or 2 degrees, 5 degrees, it's enough to make an impact. If we spend money more wisely, if we spend money with each other, we try to support each other. We support each other, not try. We support each other. It makes a world of difference. And, that's my challenge to you. What are you going to do in 2021? Same old, different day, same old. Well, you're going to challenge yourself, not only dietary, or emotional, mental, spiritual, etc. We have to do something different. We would like to challenge ourselves to do something different. And that something is walk into our greatness. Become the person that you've read about all these years, the greats. And with that, we can do all things because we cannot, there's nothing we cannot be or do or have, period. So let this be a little bit more of a glimmer of hope, because all is not lost. If you still are here, you have a beating heart, you have a spirit, you have a mind, you have a body, you are blessed beyond measure. And so we need to accentuate that, reality. We're in real time. And we can make a decision. We can make a conscious choice to do better and be better, because we have everything we need. We have melanin. We have melanin. So with that said, I'm glad that you tuned in, and tune in tomorrow. Definitely follow me on Instagram, subscribe and follow, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to try and start at 7. I'm going to try and go live at 7 p.m. and that's 7 my time. So on the East Coast, it's 9. So, if you subscribe, you will get an alert and you will see me right around 7. That's the goal. And be patient. This is my first week of this, and I just wanted to make sure I'm not going too late, too early, etc. So it's going to be 9 o'clock for the East Coasters. My West Coasters will be 6 o'clock, and I'm going to come on at 7 o'clock because we're an hour we have hour difference to the West Coast. So, all right, beloveds, take care, peace and light, and see you tomorrow.